Now this guy takes being up in the skies to a whole new level. I mean, look at this guy. Yeah, they say big is better. Hopefully they're right in this case. Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. We're looking at our modern Superion this time around. This is of course the Age of the Primes release. Right over here we have the four smaller Aerialbots, all deluxe class toys. Skydive, Fireflight, Air Raid, and Slingshot. And of course, when you're ready to transform them into Superion, these guys must be in their airplane modes. Whereas Silverbolt needs to be in his robot mode and have the rest of his accessories in the battle station mode. Plus also have the small gun. And of course, to remind everybody, these four guys over here, they were the deluxe class. Silverbolt is the larger commander class. Despite the fact that he doesn't look all that big, it's mainly to jack up the price point to get all that. And of course, later this year, we will be getting the Combaticons. I've seen some pictures of Bruticus, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he'll turn out. He should turn out pretty good, since his template is basically a modified version of what was done with the Stunticons and Motormaster. For Silverbolt here, they had to get a little imaginative to add this extra large body to him to make the frame like we got with the Stunticons. So, how well does it work here for the Aerialbots? Let's find out. Okay, to get Silverbolt ready to be Superion's body, we start by folding his wings here to the back. Then we're going to turn his head around, and we pop open the chest plate, like so. So that way we can bring out Superion's head. And we turn it around. Plus we're also going to take the time to reattach the antenna pieces. I took them off due to the fact that it is such a pain to get him to fold the head in with them on. But at any rate, once we've done that, we'll take Silverbolt's head, fold it in like so, come down here to his arms, and you'll fold the hands in. Then you'll bend his arms at the elbow so they point backwards like that. And then his shoulders should just fold right on inside the body. And then we fold up the chest. Like so, and kind of make sure the headpiece is lined up and in so that it's attached properly. Then next, come down here to his legs. Turn them at the thigh so that his toes face each other. We'll start bending his legs at the knees, and fold the heels of his feet in. Because then we're going to move him up from the hip. Line up the stubs of his arms with this hole here in the side of his leg. You may have to shift the leg like that so that the knee joint is bent in that sense, so that it'll come up enough to fit over and press it against the chest. There we go. And then once we've got that all done, we fold out the wings. So they have a spot that they'll attach to, like so. Then they want us to come back here, separate the nose section from the tail, and fold the tail outward a bit so that we have some room to work in here. And that's part one of the body made and readied. Alright, the next few steps in the instructions deal with the back portion, and those form the arms and the legs. I think we're going to finish up the body. So still, to get these pieces ready, we got to separate this part from the bulky body. And also, while we're at it, we'll take the gun. And then we'll set this piece aside. So like I said, I'd like to get the body all finished. Alright, so with it like this, take this large part here and we fold it upright like so, as well as fold up this little tab here in the back. And then we bring down these lower pieces to the side. We should also turn them around, because this is going to be at the front, so we would like those embarrassing little holes to be in the back. Then we can fold this part down. We should also fold this piece down a bit to give us plenty of room to work with. As we take the upper portion of the body, and we're going to rest it in. It just presses on gently. Bring up this piece. It's got some nice formed posts right in here, and they will line up with these holes right in there. Snaps just in good. And then we come around here to the back, and we straighten him out and fold in this other little tab to secure the whole thing. And then you can reshift the tail piece back into its configuration. And bring down the nose again. And there we go. The torso is now ready on Superion. Now next we start by taking what's left of the big body, and we remove these pieces from the edge. These parts here will form the arms. And basically to do that, we will fold out the hands, and you fold the wings down. Set this part aside. So then now you have the two arms. And basically they're having us use slingshot and fireflight to be the arms. You'll see several little slots and a couple of holes in here on them, and they should line up with the base setup here on the arm. So you press them down firmly, and like with Motor Master, if they're on securely enough and pressed in enough, then when we start to shift, do this split down here, there we go, they should separate. Get this section, that'll fold down. And then this other section will fold up and up. And then we can also bring in his wings as we try to get this section connected. There we go. Snaps into place. So there we go. We got slingshot done. Let's see what kind of trouble Fireflight gives us. Fireflight for me has always been a pain for this one, because when I got it and tried it out to see how it looked, I had a lot of trouble getting Fireflight to connect. Part of it is due to how the Aerialbots are shaped. Their airplane shape does not make it give you a lot of room to work with. Especially since the instructions want you, before you connect, put the wings up, but then you want to press down and you're going to warp or break the wings. Alright, we got him on there. Question is will he pop? He's doing the same thing again. Which doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I think I'm going to have to get a small screwdriver, so we'll be back. Okay, folks, I'll let you in on a little secret here that if you're having trouble with getting any of yours to separate like that on here, right here in this spot, this groove here, that's the spot that this black tab is supposed to be hitting that should cause him to separate. It is not doing it on mine, but a little tiny screwdriver, just push in with it, and there you go. Comes apart perfectly every time. And since I've already got the arm put in the position it needs to be, we'll just attach the separate pieces. And then there we go, we got a pair of arms. I guess this is a farewell to arms. Alright, at the moment we've given the arms to Larry over here. He's always complaining he could use an extra hand. Now he's got two. Now for the remaining portion, this shall become the legs. We just got to separate it like so. The excess bit of plastic we just fold in like that. And then right up here, we fold out this piece. That'll be what we use to connect it to the robot. And then you fold down this portion, and that will form the feet. Just exactly like that. Now get it so this piece gets on good like that. There we go, that's better. Now, it takes a little more effort to get air raid and skydive ready. For it, they want you to start by turning the tail pieces around. I say for the time being, remove them so they won't get in the way. And then fold up these tail sections. Bring the nose up. And then fold it down against the body so it snaps into place. Then even further, bring up the nose itself. And shift it to fold down. Just like that. And then you bring the wings up. And then they seem to want us to fold the head down as well. And then as you see on his arms and down here by the feet, there are slots and holes that will line up with some here on the leg. And just like how it was with Menasor, pushing these guys in, we'll line it up. I recommend you start by having their arms connect first, and then connect the lower pieces. So the lower pieces are a little easier to hit than the upper ones are. Although it seems to be working against me in the opposite direction this time. Oh, and yeah, they do show you can keep the guns on them. So if you're worried about storage, that's always good. But yeah, once you've got them in, then they can reattach the tail fins facing the other way. It's like the instructions showed, they want you to put them in, they wanted you to rotate them. I'm just trying to give you a little more room to work. And there we go, we got one leg in. Let's do the same here with Skydive. Doo-doo-doo. There we go. And then same thing. Line him up and start to push him in. Okay, strangely he's working the opposite way on me here. But hey, whatever works. Oops. Almost dropped the tail piece. Oh yeah, one last thing before we do anything else. Get those black tabs pointed upwards. And then now we're ready to put it all together. So we'll just throw the instructions aside and we'll get them all together. These black tops on the legs will slide into these slots right here. So you just slide them in all the way. And we come up here to the top. We got to fold the feet down because we forgot to do that because I'm silly. And then on the arms, we rotate around these black pieces to make sure that they're open on the bottom. And then you just slide them on. If need be, rotate the arm a little bit so that it'll go down easy. And then now, of course, to get the gun ready, we have it all folded out like so. Down underneath here, we unfold a little post. And the small gun can be attached to the opposite end, so that Superion has a really big gun. And there you have it, folks. A modern Superion. Now, articulation-wise, thanks to the better engineering, he does have considerable articulation. The head can be turned from side to side, and we can knock the antenna free just as easily. Trying to plug it back in because I don't want to lose it. The head is also on a ball joint, so it will look up and down a bit. You can raise the arms out to the side about so far. The arms also rotate at the shoulder all the way around. You can bend his arm at the elbow 90 degrees. And he does feature a swivel at the bicep, so he has G.I. Joe battle grip. In fact, because of the way his gun is, since there is a post on both sides of the gun, get his arm to stay attached. Fireflight always gives me problems. I said that in the previous one. But here, he can hold the gun in both hands like he's carrying it. This is what we mean by having G.I. Joe styled battle grip. You can hold the guns in a proper manner. Unfortunately, he can twist here at the hip just a bit. It's not much. You ain't going to get a lot of dance moves out of it, but it does look good. The legs can be spread apart into a full splits. Just listen to that ratcheting. He does have a thigh cut, but it's more inwards than outwards due to the excess kibble. The legs can be raised at the hip 90 degrees, and you can bend at the knee 90 degrees. So you get some rather impressive articulation for this modern combiner. Now, how does he stand up to the original? Well, I've just put the original right next to him. Let's back the camera up a bit so you can see both of them in shot. And as you can see, the original one stands up to about the elbows of the modern one. So this one's not significantly taller, but he is a good size. And he's a lot heftier too, so he does have that going for him. And since he's also not using this wonky leg configuration on the old one, you're definitely getting some better stability for your money. But now we also come down to my thoughts, and I do have a few gripes with the modern Superion. Now don't get me wrong, it's still a good toy. I will still say that it is a praiseworthy toy, and if you are a fan of the Transformer combiners, you will like Superion. However, I do have a few gripes. Like I said, with Fireflight here, I had a lot of trouble getting him to not only connect onto the framework, but then once we got him to connect, he didn't want to separate. So, you know, that kind of a fight is going to eventually cause a problem and maybe some breakage on him. Plus, there's also the fact that on the legs, there's just so much jet kibble sticking out of the back. It does make it a little difficult to handle him in the leg department. The cars on Menasor, they were a little smoother, so it wasn't as much of a gripe as it is here with these airplanes. They do make it a little difficult. I don't really think there's much that can be done to fix it, because leaving them off just leaves the leg panels open, and that doesn't look any better. And then, of course, there's the gripe we all have about with Silverbolt, and that's the way the antenna fit inside the chest when you've got Superion transformed as Silverbolt. I mean, it's good that they can come off, but then that just means you've got more parts to lose. So, it isn't the greatest, but I gotta say I do like it. Now, if I only just had a nice spot that I could set him up and keep him on display. Oh well, can't have everything. At any rate, that's my look at the Age of the Primes version of Superion. I hope you all enjoyed it. And again, please do remember that if you love the content we feature on this channel, Larry and I would certainly appreciate some likes, shares, comments, and subscriptions. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.